Okay, I want to do this balsa wood molded leading edge on this plane, and you know, there are many ways of doing all of these tasks, and I know John Miller had the way he does it is he uses a balsa, a shaped leading edge balsa, and wraps it around that. But this is the way I like to do it, which is take just the regular leading edge of the wing and cover it in wax paper, so you can see wax paper over the leading edge, and then take the balsa sheeting that's been soaked in the bathtub. You can see it there. Anyway, I've got a straight line drawn down the center, so I'll line that up right on the leading edge. All right. Get that lined up right on my lines on the other side of the balsa wood, and then I'll just pin it with one pin right there. And do the same to the other side. Get lined up right at the center. And put a pin through this leading edge. That holds it centered. And then just press it down against the ribs. The wax paper keeps the water from getting on the ribs. So a friend of mine, Dennis, he gave me some of these. These are the things they wrap around your arm when they take blood. So I'm going to test this out, see if that will work for me to hold this leading edge on until the water dries out. So I'm doing this right over a rib. Oops. I'm going to tear off some little pieces of tape so I have them ready. Make this a little bit easier. Otherwise I need 3 hands. So Dennis gave me several of these, so I'll use these. Center it right over the rib, that way it won't break things. I think we're good there with just 3. I've got a couple more. I guess I can put those on. You could probably tie these, but I think I'm just going to tape them. I haven't tried tying it on a wing like this. Okay, so there we go. We'll let that dry overnight and then we'll glue it on tomorrow. I think I'm just going to put my big sanding bar on here while it dries out. Make sure it stays straight. Needed some weight for the trailing edge, so I went and got a battery. Okay, good morning guys. So this dried overnight. I did have a fan blowing on it also to help dry out the balsa wood. So let's take these straps off and see how it looks. Go, got our molded balsa. And we'll take this wax paper off of here. Okay, so next step is to glue the leading edge onto the wing. Well, I thought I had the camera on for the gluing on the leading edge, but it wasn't on, so it's glued. What I did is I glued the bottom edge of the sheeting to the bottom spar with CA glue so that it would be bonded and hold. And then I used a Q-tip, and I used Titebond 3 waterproof glue for around all the ribs, and then I used Titebond on the top spar, and then I put my rubber straps around and clipped clothespins on to keep it clamped tight to the spar. So I have to put one here. Okay, so we'll just let that dry and we'll have our leading edge done. I'm working on the sheeting for the center section, so I'll show you a little trick about joining edges of sheets together. So first I have a sheet of glass that I do this on, and so cut your sheets to the width you want or close. I'm going to sand the edges after I glue them together, but so you press the edges together, and then you take a piece of masking tape, and while you're squeezing them together, at the same time you tape from the center down on that seam. And then you just take it and you flip it over and bend it back and get your CA glue and run it right down the edges of the sheeting. Okay. And then lay it flat on the glass again. Take a rag and wipe the excess CA away from the top. And well, before it's totally dry, you just sand lightly, and this sanding dust goes in the crack and helps solidify and strengthen that joint. Then you flip it over, peel your masking tape off, and then sand lightly on this side, that seam. There you go, you've got a seam that's you can't even feel or see. Only see it by the type of the grain or color of the wood. Then just go back and clean up the edges a little bit so they're straight. sides. And there you are. You got a piece of sheeting for center section. We'll just cut it off to the proper length, and we have to cut a hole for the push rod, but that's it. Okay guys, so some of the progress I've made off camera. I've got the center section sheeted on the top and the bottom. I've added the wing tips and the braces, top and bottom, and I've fit the fuselage. It's not glued together yet. I want to be able to slide it from side to side while I cover the wing. The wing sanded. Oh, and also I added the shear web, the shear webbing between the two spars, vertical grain shear webbing. So I guess the next step, I think I'm gonna start covering the wing, and then I'll start assembling the fuselage. I can't really assemble the fuselage and then slide it onto the wing because I have this push rod in the center, so I can't slide it over that push rod. I want to keep that push rod inside the fuselage, the tail of the fuselage.